Namaste. Welcome to the live chat about this course on yoga and positive psychology for managing career and life. The intimation about the live chat and possibility of discussing few questions was already communicated. Some of you have also sent their questions. So first, I will take the questions which are already being sent, and we received those in last few days. Then a live chat is also on, and I will take the sessions which come during this session. So the first question which we received was about how clinical psychology and yoga can be integrated. Uh, if you remember, in the koshas and particularly the manomay koshas related interventions, which we have discussed in the course uh, in the in the session, we have looked at how aha related, how food related interventions can be helpful in depression kind of situations as well. And in that lecture, you might have noticed that the references, the scientific papers and their references are also mentioned and given in detail. A reference of the TED Talk of one of the lead researchers who is studying the impact of Mediterranean food or the plant-based food or the raw food on the depression. That is also mentioned. So I will request you can look at that session again. And yes, clinical psychology and yoga can have complementary relationship. Not all interventions will be relevant in the clinical psychological conditions. For example, it is generally advised that in the situation of depression, meditation, and particularly the processes which require you to close your eyes and constrict your body, those are not advisable. But similarly, if there are hyper anxiety related disorders, then the interventions which increase your energy, long or large number or greater number of Kapalabhati, etc., that is also avoided. So according to the situation, the specific interventions. So if it is a high anxiety and aggression related problem, more calming pranayams are are relevant, Shitali, Shitkari, etc. If depression related disorder is in question, then ahar based intervention and some intervention based on Kapalabhati and little mild yogasanas, those can be useful interventions. So there is a very significant scope and overlap of clinical psychological intervention. Yoga can have complementary relationship, but that has to be pursued with consciousness. That has to be pursued judiciously. The second question which we have received is about well-being and achievement. If I am searching, if I am in pursuit of achieving something, how my well-being is influenced and how my well-being is affected. We conducted this large-scale study about 2 years ago, and we found very strange, very interesting relationship between achievement and flourishing. So in this study, we looked at people and we did the assessment on a continuum related to well-being. One end of the continuum is flourishing, another end is languishing, and in between comes moderately flourishing. When we looked at achievement orientation as a value and did the polynomial regression with the three categories of people who are in the languishing zone, people who are in the flourishing zone, and moderately flourishing zone, what we found was that to some extent, a relationship of flourishing and achievement is positive. But after that, so if on the scale of 1 to 5, up to the uh, point of 3 and 3.8, the achievement and flourishing were positively correlated. And that is perhaps indication of the validation of PERMA model, which talks about a positive achievement as a very as a component of flourishing. But if achievement orientation and achievement as a value increases beyond that, then it starts creating stress and anxiety, and naturally it develops a negative relationship with flourishing. So what we can do, we need to identify a right balance between our competency and our ambition. If I'm too ambitious and if I see the competency and the ambition gap is very wide, I need to focus more on building my competency or building some complementary relationships so that I can, if I don't have those competencies, I can still have those things available to me in my network, and then I can achieve those things which I'm aspiring for. So this is a sorry fine balance we need to maintain in our life. With yoga, another question is, with yoga and positive psychology, we can make a balance with ourselves individually, but at times work situation is not very conducive. Whenever we are facing this situation of work situation not conducive, we need to ask. So, but if you are talking about organization or institution, we need to ask why I chose to be, why I have to be part of this structure. Organizations and institutions are a structure. We decided at some point of time to be part of that structure. When we evaluate our situation, why we chose to be part of this structure, we can get clarity why something is bothering and what we can do about it. Or should we bother about it or not? Is, so that's the first stage. The second stage is I might have clarity. I might be part of this organization or institution for the reason which are valid, which are well thought through. But still, in my immediate work environment, I'm sensing some negativity. This will never happen that all the external environment will be positive. Yoga helps to regain your energy in the negative environments as well. Uh, it, uh, in the negative environment, our energies are sapped. With the yoga practice, we can replenish that energy. After replenishing, we need to operate on proper skills. What is needed for me to deal with that situation? If it is politics, then I need to maintain data. I need to make my paperwork very correct. If it is, if my boss is more skeptical, then I need to maintain the network with the people with whom he has a positive, or he or she has a trusting relationships. If my colleagues are not cooperative, I need to have conversation. I also need to have the energy. I, I I can also still be positive. If we remain positive, many a time, with if we remain positive, if we work according to our competence, if we work sincerely, it also comes through. At a workplace, there will always be some cooperative people and some people who will take more time in trusting and more time in showing up their positive side. But normally, we, if we continue to work according to our dharma, according to our competency according to the organizational norms, we also garner some support from some other people. So we will eventually able to make friends and our support system. So that's how we need to operate. And you can help in replenishing our energy every day. Like we charge our mobile phones every day, we need to charge our body and mind also every day. When our body and minds are charged, we will be more alert to choose appropriate strategy uh, and choose appropriate behavior. What is needed, what is good, what is according to the righteousness at workplace. Then there are some questions about timing of suitable to perform yoga. Uh, Morning time is the best time to practice yoga, but if that is not possible, evening, the sandhya, uh, when the uh, it's evening time when the night is not uh, as calm and the day is not totally past. So that Sandhya Kal, the transition period of the around the sunset, 20 minutes before, half an hour before the sunset, and after half an hour after the sunset. This is the Sandhya Kal. This is also good for practice. Some practices, mild practices, particularly practices like Yoga Nidra or Sahaj Samadhi or kind of practices can be performed before lunch as well during the day. So these are the timings. Uh, then there are questions about examination and registration of the exam. What should I do? If you have not been able to register for the exam, then you will not be able to take exam this time. But I want to announce in this session that uh, uh, the same course will be offered in the very next semester as well. So unlike the courses which run once every year, this course will run twice a year. In both the semesters, this will be offered. So this course will be available in month of July as well. The registrations for the July session will start uh, from the month of May, and that time uh, uh, you can register for the exam and you can take exam. Uh, what type of questions will be asked uh, in the examination? The questions will be multiple choice questions, not very different from uh, what are being asked during your uh, in your assignment questions. Every week you are taking assignment questions. Similar questions will be asked in the similar pattern. The questions will be asked in the final exam. Then there is a question about how one can take yoga as career. Independent career is certainly possible if you are very well trained in yoga. You can start your yoga studio. It is really helpful to complete this kind of courses. It is also helpful to get the accreditation, uh, yoga certification. It is given by accreditation body of Government of India. It is very well structured syllabus. You can take that exam. I think Quality Assurance India, in collaboration with the Quality Assurance of India, the certification is offered uh, to the to the aspirants. So that can be taken, and that will be a kind of a basis, or it will provide the validity, uh, more validity to uh, for you to offer the sessions. It will also certainly helpful uh, uh, in in enhancing your knowledge and getting to know the nuances of the yoga-based interventions and yoga practices. So with the certification, you can more and more confident, and your students will also be confident of your proficiency in the yoga. So individual practice is certainly possible. Some organizations have started employing well-being coaches as well. Um, so if you have a psychology background combined with yoga, that has added advantage. You can be a, a integrative uh, approach based counselor. So because organizations are institutions as well as business organizations are aiming at appointing people who can counsel their members, who can work with their members to attain the higher level of well-being, or help their people to address the challenges in the mental well-being or physical well-being. So if you're trained in this field, then you can get the opportunity in the wellness centers of educational institutions and business organizations. Uh, will the assignment have to be done once more if we are taking exam in July, or do we get credit passed on from this batch to the next batch? I think you will have to take the assignments again, because once the assignments are out, uh, probably you have seen it or some of your friends would have seen it, so that secrecy is gone. So yes, you will have to meet the assignments as well, and you have to complete those weekly tests as well for taking the final exam in the next semester. You will be receiving you some of you have also asked in the in through emails that we talked about some holistic assessment during the session, but that assessment questionnaire has not been sent to you. So uh, that assessment questionnaires will be sent to you in a week, in next couple of weeks, and you can take that test, and you will also able to see your scores, and if you find it interesting and relatable, then you can also purchase a detailed report which is attached to that. Then there is a question on the counseling psychologists. Are there any worksheets related to what we are learning? Uh, all the sessions are detailed out, and uh, the PPTs are also available, so you can use that as a reference point for your learning. If you have not, then there is a question about, I have not been able to submit my earlier assignments. Can I do them this week? I think that is not possible. No. And means if you have only uh, a score 10 out of 25 out of total assignments, then only you will be able to take exam this time. Uh, and the transcripts are under preparation. Um, After the recording was released, transcription is done, but transcriptions are in the final stage of editing. I am not sure the transcriptions will be available before the your final exam. So I'll suggest do not remain dependent on that, and you can follow the videos and PPT, and that will be your source of your preparation for the exam. Then there is a question about any book that you can refer for enhancing our knowledge. Uh, in the course outline, I have mentioned 3 books which are very good to start with. I have also mentioned 15 about research papers. Most of those research papers are freely available. You can download these, and, and that can give you a good understanding, which is in line with our course material. So you can use that. In those papers and courses, you can also uh, see references of other books. So depending on what is your interest area, you can choose other books as well. Can I continue with the further assignments and look for the total score? Yes, you can continue, Deepti ji, for the further assignments, and then I'm sure your score will improve. There is a question by Giri Kumar ji, that question on the assertion and reasoning. Uh, Assertion is neither being submissive nor being aggressive. And for the assertion, reasoning is important. Instead of operating on emotions, we need to we need to look at the reasons behind our judgment, behind our action. That is possible with the calm mind, and that's where yoga helps. We need to practice the assertiveness for more functional relationship at workplace and our personal life, uh, and you can help us to maintain the equanimity. If I am submissive, it can help me to increase my energy and take me to the assertiveness level. If I'm aggressive, you can help me to reduce that aggression. So the samatvam yoga uchyate, that's a basic definition, one of the basic definitions of management of yoga. It applies, and if you practice, you can certainly see that samatva, which is appropriate translation of assertion and assertiveness, can be experienced in life. Uh, so Anil Kumarji is asking, can you give the tips for remembering different kleshas? So Abhinivesh, Rag, Dvesh, Ityadi. These are the kleshas. You you need to figure out. Maybe you can make acronym, and by making acronym, you can remember these things better. Yes, there's a question about model of the examination paper. The model of examination paper is very similar to your assignment papers. Uh, there will be some assignment questions which will be common, maybe 15-20%, but others you will have different questions, but the pattern will remain same. So final exam of this semester is 20th or 29th of April. The final date will be communicated to you shortly. Neetaji's question is, if I miss the assignment, what can be done? Nothing can be done now, except you can register for the course again, take the assignments, and then score well to attend the final exam and get the certificate.
I think 4 assignments is remaining, then you can continue the assignments. This helpful. You get the number that.
So if you have missed out on some assignments, uh, uh, if you missed on some assignments, still there are 4 assignments remaining. So the 4 assignments are on your way. Please attempt those assignments well, and you will be able to score well, which is sufficient for you to take the exam. assignment scores are added in the result. Yes, assignments.
25%.
The 25% of your total assessment is based on your scores in the assignment. So assignment has two functions. One, ensuring that the eligibility for the final exam, and number two, the 25% of that is added to the uh, final score of yours in this course. Examination place will be declared shortly, most in next week. There are ample number of cities where the examinations will be conducted. The number of cities every year are increasing. So our NPTEL team is working very hard to ensure that uh, you you get the city which is closest to your place. So if there are no other questions, I wish you all very best, not only for the exam, but also for your practice, your regular practice in yoga. Please remember that yoga is not about theory. Theory is very, very important. The concepts are very important. If we do not know the concepts, we will not know how we can develop ourselves, what kind of changes are possible, what to look at in our personality for us to become more joyful and more effective in our roles, in our life. So that is important. But ultimately, it is the practice which will give best understanding about the concepts. If I want to understand what is pranamaya kosh, no amount of reading will give that much understanding of the pranamaya kosh which I get if I do pranayam for half an hour. So that is true with meditation, that is true with dhyan, that is true with samadhi, that is true with dharana. Samadhi is a very, very kind of a big achievement. So we have not talked much about the samadhi. Our focus has been on ensuring well-being. We remain well adjusted within ourselves and within our profession. So that has been our focus. So I hope that you practice. For the practice, you can take courses from wherever you are located. I'm sure you can find some good yoga teachers for your courses. I'm personally familiar with three organizations. All three are fantastic. Isha Yoga Foundation, I have done most of the courses from the Isha Yoga Foundation, and they are very, very impactful. I was immensely benefited by that. I've also done Sudarshan Kriya Art of Living courses, basic course and advanced course, and I was immensely benefited uh, by these courses of the Art of Living. I've also done the teacher training from the in the organization what we call Patanjali's on the name of Patanjali. This organization is led by Sri Baba Ramdev ji. So with them, I have done the teacher training, and they are also fantastic. This teacher training program, 1 month program, was very, very effective for my personal sadhana, for clarifying the concepts, uh, which became the basis for my teaching of many of the sessions in this course. And there can be many other organizations as well. So please test yourself and learn from some experienced teachers, and you will certainly be benefited. Knowledge of Sanskrit will certainly be uh, helpful if you are able to also learn Sanskrit. There is I'm admirer of, there is a channel, Sanskrit channel, and the name of the YouTube channel is Sanskrit channel. I have been following this channel, and it gives good understanding about uh, different aspects of Sanskrit speaking and meaning of some shlokas. Sanskrit channel has also very good translation of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So you can check for that as well. I'm seeing otherwise a lot of positive comments about the course. I'm helpful. I'm so happy that uh, uh, many of you have found this course useful professionally and personally. And I hope to continue our conversation uh, with the with all of you, and you will continue your studies and your research in this field. So thanks very much. Wish you all very best. Please follow the emails which will be sent to you shortly about the reports, about assessments, and I'm sure you will be benefited by those interventions as well. Namaste.